What's up, y'all? Nice. All right. Well, that was one beat on M8. Hope everyone's chilling. Let's play one more, and then we'll get into making a new one from scratch. So let's see what we got in the old bag of tricks here. Stream 1B. Ooh, this one's chill. All right. Nice. All right. Yeah, that one's a little loopy. I gotta figure out some new layers I gotta put on there. Maybe like a horn sample or something would sound sick, or perhaps something else. But you can see I've filled up all the tracks here, pretty much, all the way from 1 to 8. So I'd have to do some resampling to create some space for new sounds, which is a great segue because my video tomorrow is going to talk about some resampling tactics on M8. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and do a new project here and see what we're working with today's sample. So I'm going to load that up here. But yeah, I hope everyone's chilling, doing good out there, enjoying your Saturday. staying cool, I would hope. It's getting a little warm over here, but it's all good. All right, so okay, color and wings. That's what we're working with. Let's take a listen, shall we? Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna have to chop and screw that thing, but before we do that, just wanted to mention that if you're interested in working with these samples, you can always record them on your phone, screen record, but I do share the wave files for the melodic samples that I use on the live sessions on my Patreon, which is free, you don't have to pay for it or anything. So check that out, link in description, if you want to mess around with these samples and not have to pay for them. Okay, let's get some chops in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and highlight the slice marker parameter, and that'll let me just hold play, and then I could tap the edit button as the sample's playing back to drop slice markers in there. Did that one a little early. Got to get on that 0 point crossing, or close enough. And yeah, when you're doing the fine edits on the M8, you can see there's a little bit of a, like there's the value text in the bottom left corner, and that tells you how close you are to a 0 point crossing. Oh, look at that. That's 0. So that's perfect. But yeah, that can be a helpful tool so that you don't have like those pops and clicks when you're setting slice markers. So keep an eye out for that value setting in the corner. All right, I think we've got maybe 2 more slices to add here. We'll be good. Nice, so that should be pretty chill. Just go back and play these. Oh. Yikes. Nice. Okay, so we've got these dialed in. I'm going to click the overwrite button to save those slice markers. And then we can set this to slice 01 file. And I actually have a fun little MIDI controller that I want to test out today as well. So we're going to be doing that. Let me show you what it looks like. So it's this thing. I know, look at how cute this little thing is. It's so tiny too. Like, look at how it is compared to the M8. Super duper small. And yeah, so this is basically this thing called the Phantasmal Force by, what is it called? Distropolis Goods, I think is the name of the guy that makes it. But yeah, it's basically a little MIDI controller, and you can use each of these buttons to send, it's quite complex actually. You can send CC values, you can send like LFO type stuff, but you can also just send MIDI notes, which is kind of what I want to do with it. And my idea with this thing is to be able to like play the slices back by pushing these clickety clackety buttons. So let's try doing that. So the way this thing works is you have to power it via USB. It does not have internal power. So I'm going to plug my little USB in here. And then you can see it turns on. Yeah, look at that nice screen. It's got a better screen than many Groove boxes. Like compared to like the Roland P6, look at how detailed this is. It's got all kinds of info on it. But yeah, so we've got this. I don't know where exactly I can put it so you can see it. Maybe I'll just keep holding it. All right, and then I got to do, so it can do MIDI over USB, but it can also do MIDI over TRS. So that's what we're going to do. Plug this boy in. And then I will plug it into the MIDI in port right here. Okie dokie. And so you can also change the channel, the MIDI channel that it sends notes on, but I have it configured in such a way where it's sending it on the rec note channel. So if you're not familiar with MIDI on M8, basically you can have MIDI channels control certain instruments, which is what these bottom track MIDI input commands are for. Like channel 1 can control whatever, instrument 00. This I could do instrument 02 or whatever. But there's this rec note channel, and basically what this does is it allows you to just control whatever the last selected instrument is, and you can also add notes to the M8 sequence using this channel, so it's pretty legit. And then there's ways that you can control like the velocity of the notes that you're pressing, which is not an issue for this thing because it doesn't have velocity sensitive buttons, so I'm going to keep that off. And then this is rec delay / off, which allows you to like also capture in the sequence whether you're letting go of the key, which is not important for me right now, as well as the delay, which would be like kind of the micro timing, quote unquote. So yeah, cool stuff you can do there. But I turn that stuff off for now. And let's just see if I can play some slices on this thing. But yeah, so you can see as I'm pressing the buttons, it is triggering stuff, but it's not playing any sound. And so the reason why is I need to make it so it's playing C1 is basically where the slices will start. So I have to use this thing to kind of like adjust the transpose. Let me see if I do this right. Nope. Oh man. Thought I had this set up correctly, but perhaps I do not. Oh, there we go. What is that playing? That's playing C2. We are so close. Alright, so I'm gonna have to adjust some notes here. This is where this thing gets a little tricky because it's so small. It doesn't have a lot of like dedicated controls. You have to do a lot of menu type stuff, which we're not afraid of. So you can see that as I push these buttons, it's sending notes starting at... Oh, whoa. Dude, these notes are all over the place. It looks like it sent C1 at some point. Oy. Oh yeah, so anyways, so I have to change the notes. So this is sending C2 even though it says C0. So I have to set it to C -1. so that it'll send C1. So I'm going to do that. Option, modify the note, and I want it to send C1. Let's see if that works. Nice. But then here's the tricky part, is I have to do this with like all of them. So this one I need to do C#1. Nice. And then this one needs to be D1. Come on, there you go. And yeah, once I dial this in, you won't have to do it anymore, but the life that we're living right now, what is it doing? Okay. C1, C#1, D1. This would be D#1. Okie. This would be E1. And then F1. F#1. G1. Make sure we've got this right so far. C, C#, D, D#, E, F, F#, G. We're almost there. And then what is this thing? F. This would be F#. And then B. I feel like I missed one. Shouldn't there be A? So C, C#, D, D#, E, F, F#, G, G#. I don't know why I went back to F here. This one has to be A. This one's A#. And then this one's B. Ah, look at that. We're learning the keyboard together. Okay, cool. And then, so now I can exit. Exit, yes. And then I'll save this, which I thought I did before. Whoops. Boom. All right, so now it's saved. And then now I have a transpose control in the bottom left corner. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even like showing this thing right. Yeah, so I've got this transpose in the bottom right, so I can transpose up and down. Which would give me access to different keys, basically. So yeah, little bit interesting to program there, but definitely some interesting possibilities, and it'll be fun to play back the chops with this thing. It's a little more tactile than, say, using just M8 by itself. So we're gonna put this right here for now. But yo, Strolife, dude, what's up, man? How's it going? What's cracking? Okay, but let's keep on rocking here. So I think I am gonna put something very basic in, or okay, actually there's one other thing I need to do. So you can see as I'm pressing these buttons, when I let go of it, it stops playing, which is not great because you kind of want it to sustain all the way through. Especially when you're using something to control the sample chops, you kind of just want them to play through. So the other thing I need to do is on M8, I need to adjust some settings here on the envelope. So I'll do ADSR, set it to volume, and then you can just max out the decay, sustain, release. And then I could even add some attack if there's like pops and clicks and stuff on the sample chops, but I haven't hit that point yet. But now when I push the buttons, it should play all the way through. Lots of fun. So again, what you're getting with this little controller is the more expressive kind of like tap your chops in type deal, as opposed to drawing them in using the M8 sequencer, which is also very capable, but maybe not as intuitive. But yeah, let's get some chops in here, and then I'll start building a drum section, a rhythm section. Scooch this over a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Bad effect though. Maybe I'll move this to the left. Nice. So yeah, maybe something like that. So we've got this note. And then we'll do a new one, new phrase here. And then another new phrase with just this one at the beginning. Whoa. And then I gotta change the tempo too. So we'll bring it down to 90 and see how that sounds. It's not sounding the way I thought, so I'm gonna try doing it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And then this will be the next one. Man, getting confused here. All right, so then I've got 13, and this is where I want E1 to come in. Where are you at? There we go. Nice basic sequence there. Added a little bit of attack. Maybe I'll pitch it down a little bit. Sounds pretty dope. Alright, so now we're ready to start building the rhythm section. I'm going to load up some drum samples, but let me just check the chat here. Mr. Life saying, I thought that was a pocket operator or something. It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's pretty much why I got it, is because it has kind of like pocket operator vibes, basically. Yeah, super small MIDI controller. Honestly, if there was something like pocket operator size that could output MIDI, I would be so into that. This thing's a little smaller than the pocket operator, just to give you some context here. Break this boy out so you can see the size comparison. Yeah, it's like much smaller. Although this thing, whoa. This is like the pocket operator in a case, so it's much bigger. But yeah, just for comparison there, you can see it's like it's kind of like the size of the pads of it. Almost. So it's very tiny. It's kind of hard to push the buttons, to be honest with you, because they're so close together. But it's pretty cool stuff. And it's got a lot of this cool MIDI functionality that I was talking about earlier, which we will get into later as we continue to sequence. But for now, let's get the rhythm section going on this thing. don't like that one. Whoa, what's this doing? Oh, I had it on chain 0. Ugh. Chain 20. Phrase 20. Gonna put a little envelope on there too. So now the snare doesn't sustain as much. It's a little bit more gated, I guess. So that's a nice sound. Let's get a kick drum next. Yo, Matt Jacob. Dude, what's up, man? How's it going? Let's see if I can work with this thing. It's a little quiet. Oh, whoops. So I'll make it louder. And then, yeah, we can hit it with the EQ, because that's how we do. Oh, man. I gotta be able to hear it, though. Let me just throw some on the board here so that we can have it looping. All right, so it sounds a little beefier. I'm also going to do envelope on it, just like before. All right, let's hear how it sounds in context. All right, so got it sound a little beefier there. Maybe I can even pitch it down too. It sounds chill. All right, let's do hi-hat next. And then I'll get these drums schwangin'. And of course, hi-hat 420 would be lit. Oh, wait. It's got kind of a weird sound on it. Probably high pass it. I dig it, though. So let's just do the quick fill shortcut. So you highlight the entire row, Shift Option Option, Then you hold Option, you press left. Boom. And yeah, what I want to do here is shape the sound a little bit. So we'll high pass. Sounds pretty chill. And then hit it with the envelope as well. So I have a little bit more control over how it's sounding. And then let's hear it with the rest of the mix. RZA? Hell yeah, bro. That's what's up, Still Life. Yeah, this hi-hat sounds kind of funky. Maybe hi-hat 420 led us astray. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna keep it in our pocket, but let's try and find something else. Dig this one. I love putting degrade on the hi-hat. Sometimes it's too much though. I think this is sounding pretty chill. Okay, so we've got our basic rhythmic elements, kick, snare, and hi-hat. I think it's time to start getting some micro timing in the mix here. And there are two methods that I generally use when it comes to micro timing. The first is this like table configuration, which is it's a little bit of an intermediate style trick. So I'm going to keep it simple today. And use the double BPM trick. And so basically what we're going to do here is we've got our BPM set at 86. So all we got to do is multiply that by 2, and then we get twice as many like places where the note can land between the steps. It's kind of like an old school sampler sequencer trick basically, but it works well for our purposes today. So yeah, first things first is we got to double the tempo, and 86 times 2 is 172, I think. So we're gonna do that. 1, 7, 2. And then also for this to work, I need to change some of the groove settings. So we've got, where is the groove page? I always forget. So yeah, you go to the phrase page and then you do shift up, and this shows you the groove settings. These can be a little tricky to work with, so I usually keep it super duper simple on this. Basically what this is doing is it's saying every time the sequencer moves to a new step, it's gonna like wait a certain number of ticks before it goes to the next step and waits that many ticks. And the tick is basically like a division between the steps. So it's like each step, there's 6 ticks, and then it moves to the next step. So it's kind of like a sub-step micro timing type thing. But yeah, so right now it's going Yeah, 6 ticks, 6 ticks, 6 ticks, 6 ticks for each step. But since I doubled the tempo, I also want to double the number of ticks. So instead of it flying through the sequence at 172 BPM, I want it to take twice as long to move through each step. So it'll then sound like it's 86 BPM instead of 172. So hopefully that's not too complicated, but yeah, basically instead of having it be 0.6, we're going to set it to 0C, which is 12 in hexadecimal. And now when I play the sequence, it's not going to sound like it's 172 BPM, it's going to play like it's 86. So let's check it out. Nice, so that worked out well. And basically what that allows me to do now is instead of having only a few values to work with when using the DEL command, which allows you to kind of offset stuff, I get twice as many numbers to work with. So let's start with the DEL command here. Or actually, you know what I could do is I could just sequence this stuff live, which would be a little bit more fun. So yeah, let's do that. And I have this really cool MIDI controller that we can use to do that as well. So let me adjust the transpose here and make sure I'm at the right note. Nice, so that's C4. And then the other thing I need to do is go to the rec note settings, and I want to turn the rec delay to on. And what this is going to do is as I'm inputting notes in while I'm playing the sequence, it's going to offset those in the way that I'm playing it instead of snapping them to grid. So it's kind of like turning quantize off, basically, even though it is going to be quantized to a certain sense. It'll allow me to get things that are a little bit less connected to the actual step because it'll add a delay command when I input the notes. And then Strilife saying, is groove almost like swing? Yeah, it definitely is. That's a good analogy. You can use it in the same way that you would use swing, because it can, kind of adjust the sequencer to play things a little bit off. So yeah, it's a good way to think about it. All right, let's see here. And so now when I press play, I can add the notes into the sequence. Nice. So I was just testing that to make sure that worked. So yeah, now what I'm going to do is I'll play it and then just kind of tap stuff in and see how it sounds. Pretty simple. And let's do the kick next. Now I want the kick to be louder and cut through the mix a little bit more swiftly. So I think what I'll do is add a like kind of sidechain type envelope. So it's not like true sidechain, but there's a way that you can use the envelope settings on the sampler instrument to kind of duck the sound when other sounds play. So I think that'll be helpful to get the kick a little bit more forward in the mix. But yeah, Still Life saying, damn, you're deadly with that M8. Dude, I appreciate that. Yeah, this thing, it's a deadly weapon for sure. I'm telling you, once you get your reps in on this, it's like, it's a very capable device and plays nicely with MIDI controllers. And so small too. You can just put it in your pocket, which is pretty sick. All right, so let's get this kick even fatter by setting up this envelope. So I'm gonna go to the sampler instrument. And then here, I'm going to change the envelope type to trig envelope. And this is basically saying when something plays, do decrease the volume, essentially. So we're going to set the destination of volume, and the source is going to be the kick drum, which is this kick drum here. And what I want it to do is decrease the volume all the way, just so you can hear it, so it'll be a little bit exaggerated. And then I can't remember exactly what these other parameters do, so let's just see what it sounds like. So the decay seems to control how long it takes to fade back to regular volume after it's ducked the volume when the kick drum plays. So we can keep this, we can make it lower if we want it to get back to full volume quicker. And then the hold, is basically going to keep it at 0 volume before shooting it back up. So you can make this stay at 0 volume for longer by increasing the hold. Nice. So the kick is a little bit easier to hear with this setup. Seems a little complicated, but yeah, once you set it up once, you'll be able to kind of navigate through it quickly. But yeah, MFizz writes in and says, yo, what's that tiny machine? Dude, so glad you asked. This is the Phantasmal Force by, I always forget this, Distropolis Goods. But yeah, basically what it is this a little MIDI controller. So what you can do is, ba-da-da-da-do, yeah. It's not doing anything. Oh, because it's C4. But yeah, basically you can send MIDI notes with it. But it can do a lot more than that. You can also have it send like CC commands. These are just basically, yeah, each of these buttons you can map to a MIDI note, or it can do other stuff too. And then it's got this knob too, which you can use to like adjust certain things as well. But yeah, it's basically just like a very small MIDI controller is essentially what it does. And it's fun to use with M8 because M8 is very small and compact as well. So it's just a cool way to like kind of play stuff in, which I'll, in fact, that's a good segue because I wanted to do some different sample chops too. So let me actually just save this. And then we'll do some other notes here. Whoop. And then now I need to set this up to play the slices. So you can do that like such. Got to adjust the transpose here. All right, so that sounds kind of goofy, but yeah, that's kind of the workflow there. Let me see if I can tap something that sounds cool, and then I will record it. And then once I've got something that I know I want to record, all I have to do is move the cursor to the note column, and then as I play things, it'll get input into the sequence. So let me practice again, and then I'll shoot it over. Nice. So kind of a simple little sample chop progression there. But yeah, let's do some bass next. Whoa. Yeah, sometimes it gets a little weird though when I input some of these notes. Maybe when I press two buttons at once, it just like kind of freaks out. I don't know. Yeah, what the heck? Sometimes it just like really bugs out. Yeah, like that just held the note down. Maybe not so good for the bass line. But the alternative would be, yeah, just like kind of drawing the notes in, which can be tricky as well, but maybe that's the better option here. Let's see if I can find the root note. So maybe it's A? I don't know. I think A sounds pretty chill, so I'm just going to throw some A's in the mix, and we'll see how it's going. Yo, Herbs, what's cracking, man? And what's good, bruv? Dude, what's up? What is good with you? How's it going, y'all? I forgot I have to adjust the envelope on this thing so that it's not just like, because by default it'll just play all the way through and it won't stop. So you got to tell it to stop by using the hold command here. And then, oh yeah, I have to set this to volume, then bring it down. Trying to listen to it by itself here. Sounds about right there. But yeah, Mphys is saying maybe it's the MIDI settings soft through or something. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. It might just be like, yeah, the overlapping notes just kind of make it bug out a little bit. Because yeah, I don't know what it would be going through. Or maybe the M8's listening to MIDI that's also sending. It's like a feedback. Oy. It's above my pay grade, but it's a good suggestion. So thanks for mentioning that, Mphys. And then Herb says, caught you in the kitchen. Didn't mean to interrupt the process. Dude, heck yeah. Yeah, man. Appreciate you saying what's up. Man, I am just so bad with the M8 synthesis engines. I think I'm just going to use a sample, bass sample, because I know that'll work. So let's shop around. I like those two notes. But yeah, what's good, bruv, is saying, ever tried to do a beat with FM and hypersynth on the M8, like a one-track challenge? No way, dude. I didn't mean to sound so dismissive, but yeah, I haven't tried doing that yet. I'm not very familiar with the synthesis engines on the M8 beyond just using like very basic wave shapes. Like for instance, the triple triangle and the triple sine are usually pretty nice bass tones. But yeah, I've never really tried doing a full beat with just the internal sounds. Sounds like it could be tricky if you don't know how to navigate those, but definitely something to think about. Because yeah, the sound design possibilities with the internal synth engines are like pretty nuts. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I've seen people do super crazy stuff. But yeah, it's all about kind of getting practice and learning how to do that, which can be tough. But how about you? What's good, bruv? Do you ever get down on just the FM synth and the hyper synth? How does that work out for you? Nice. So put a little filter on the bass there just to give it make it a little more smooth, because it was there's a little bit of resonant stuff on it. I think the way I sampled it, it was a little lo-fi, so now it's just a little bit more sub bassy, and it sits pretty well in the mix, I think. But yeah, Still Life is saying, Seems like you need knobs dealing with synths. I know you can program stuff on the M8 to be tactical control. Seems more, but tactical control seems more practical. Yeah, man, definitely. And you can map these things to be controlled by like external, it's called like MIDI CC, but basically you can use knobs from other devices to like make it so that when you turn that, it affects the parameters on the M8. So there's a way to kind of set that up. But yeah, I agree. Having a little bit more of a hands-on control of the synth parameters can be helpful, but I don't know. Some people are more familiar with just kind of dialing stuff in specifically. So different strokes for different folks, I would say. But yeah, what else we got? Sounds kind of sick, actually. Dang, I kind of want a different pitch of this to play in this section, but it's kind of hard to figure out what exactly the pitch would be. I just keep it where it's at. All right. What else we got? Kind of dig this horn chop. I think we can put it in probably at the later end of the sequence. So maybe in the 4th bar, perhaps. Nice. Maybe some other horn chops too. Chopping around. Yeah, I'm kind of looking for like just a horn that just goes burm, so it could do da 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 da, but I'm not able to find something that kind of fits the bill. I will find it eventually though. But yeah, so Strolife is saying though, agreed. M8 seems way too complicated, something I probably wouldn't be interested in, but you've demystified it. Dude, heck yeah. That's what I love doing, demystifying. Looks like you can do just about anything if you have the patience to learn. Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone, especially the fact that it does not have the sort of 16 pads kind of built-in control. Like there's no way to kind of play it like as an instrument almost in the way you would like a MPC or whatever else. So it is a little tricky in that regard, but if you can, yeah, fight through that or embrace it, then you'll end up creating some pretty cool stuff on it. And then Herbs is saying, did you record these waves yourself, or are you playing them or just playing them from somewhere else? Yeah, no, these are samples that I got from another YouTube creator whose name is Marlo Diggs. Basically, he has a Patreon where if you subscribe to it, he'll send out samples every month. So these are all samples that he's recorded from like vinyl and stuff. So these horns are, yeah, from his sample pack, basically. Maybe this is it. Let me adjust the start point here so that it's just doing the... man. So yeah, when you do like the ping pong looping on the M8, it'll just keep playing and it won't stop. So you have to add like a off command to basically tell it to stop doing that. And I'd probably need to tighten up the loop point too. Yeah, let me just keep this one in my pocket and we'll keep seeing if we can find something good here. Yeah, the loop point is like way out. Should be fine. Gotta bring it in more. And then I'll add an off command here. Or one other thing I could do is adjust the envelope. So let's try that instead. So we'll do volume. Wow, took me a long time to find that horn sample, but I did it. Okay, let's see what else we got here. interesting layer there with the guitar. I think I might be able to put this on a different track too. One that doesn't have any sounds on a certain phrase, like maybe this one. Be nice to have like a percussion loop too to kind of jazz up the rhythm section. So maybe that's what I should be shopping for here. I was trying to get a little creative with the STA command there, because you can kind of use it to like slice a sample without needing to actually put slice markers in, but it was sounding a little bit wonky. So I was like, you know what? Let's cut our losses and take that off. But yeah, this sounds pretty chill. It's like a nice little loop here. Whoa, why does that sound so loud? Maybe it's pitched down? There we go. All right, so I've got some of these nth commands in here, and basically what I'm going to do is use these to take this one phrase that has all these kick drums in it and make it sound a little bit more dynamic. And by doing so, I'll be able to have certain kick notes trigger on certain times the sequence passes through the phrase. So right now it's all playing every single time, but I can use like nth, like if I do 8-0, this is just going to play it the first time it passes through and the third time. So basically, if you're looking at the chain view, it'll play on this 0-1 and this 2-1, but it'll skip it on 1 and 3. And so that's 8-0. And then you can also do like 2-0 or 1-0, which is only playing it on the second one. So I think, yeah, so basically you'll have some that are only playing on 1 and 3, some that are only playing on 2, and it'll kind of create the illusion that more stuff is happening than it really is, basically. All right, cool. So yeah, this is looping pretty well. Oh yeah, let me just save it. Now you're probably wondering, Jay Maclet, how do you listen to this over and over again for so long? I don't know. It's just kind of fun. All right, so that is this beat. I think we're at a pretty good place there to pause on that. And I actually have another fun project if you're interested in watching this, which is something I wanted to do with the M8 today. Is I wanted to switch out these caps, or not caps, these switches. The switches are the ways that you interact with M8. Push the buttons and it does the things, right? But there are different switches that you can put in, and I actually have a couple that I want to install and see how they feel, because these are different ones than what it comes with. But yeah, I wanted to test out some other ones because these ones are, I feel like I could do better with these. So that's what I'm going to do next. So brief intermission here while I change up the stream. Get rid of that. Move this out of the way. And then I'm going to turn this off. Actually, let me mute this so it doesn't like make a loud noise. And unplug this boy. And yeah, basically, I think what you have to do is, well, I could take the switches off with it just being in this state, but I think it's easier to do if you disassemble it by unscrewing these like 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. So I'm going to try and take it apart. I've never done it before because the last time I switched the switches out, I just kind of did it from the front. It was kind of a pain in the butt. So hopefully that's more simple. But while that's going, we also get to listen to some music too. So I'm going to play some songs while I'm doing that so you can stay entertained while I surgically operate on M8. And yeah, so I've got my little tape player here. We're going to listen to one of my beat tapes. This one is called Turbo Beats. It's got a lot of samples from Turbo Graphics, which is a video game console. It's an old video game console. It's like from the same era as like Super Nintendo and that sort of thing. So yeah, some pretty cool sounds on here. So let's take a listen. I just have to do a little bit of audio routing here. Phone. Okay, let's see if I did this right. Whoops. Can we hear it? It's like it's got a very strong hiss. All right, that should be good. Might be a little bit quiet. Okay, let's take this sucker apart. So it comes with a screwdriver that you can use. Oh wait, actually, let's take a look at the switches that I'm going to switch it out to. So I got these from, turn that down a little bit. So yeah, I got these from Low Pro Keyboard, LPKB. And these are the ambient silent chalk switches. And they're called bokeh. And yeah, essentially what they are is they have a little bit more resistance, I guess you could say, than the ones that I have currently installed. So they've got a nice action. Dump them out. But they're not clicky. So you push the switch in, but it doesn't make the signature click sound. So they're like silent in a sense, which I think is why they're called the ambients, as opposed to the, there's another one where it like clicks. I forget what it's called. The tactile or something like that. So yeah, these are going to be a little bit quieter. I gotta say the color is like kind of funky though. These look pretty dope because they're just like black, so it looks like murdered out. After I put these in, I might actually put the keycaps on, which is like the thing that goes on top of it. But either way, let's go ahead and get this thing taken apart. So yeah, M8 comes with this little, I don't even know what this is called, Torque X or something, the type of screw it is. And I should be able to just, yeah, take these off and see what happens. It's one screw. Another one. And again, taking this off is optional, I would say, because you can get the key or the switches off without removing the front panel. But I think it's going to be easier if I remove the front panel, so that's why I'm doing this. All right, and then last one here. Oh, wow. Can really feel it coming apart. All right, almost done. Okay, so that's the 4 rear screws. And it feels like it's quite loose. You can kind of see it coming apart here. Like that. So I'm going to lay it on its back. Wait. And then just pull up. Oh, wow. Look at that. Dude, this thing feels dope. Those are like the speakers, I guess? What the heck? I thought the speakers would have like a little cable coming off them, but they don't. It's just like, I guess these just make connection with like a terminal or whatever you call it. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I could put like something on here, maybe like a sticker or something. I'm not gonna do that now. But yeah, okay, so that's the front thing off. And then now it's gonna be super duper easy to, yeah, take these switches off. So you do need a special tool for that. You don't want to do that by hand, so let me grab that. This thing, which is the, I don't even know what brand that is. I don't know, somebody pronounce that for me. Seidinzen? But yeah, basically what this tool does is it has 2 sides. This side on the back is for pulling the caps off, the keycaps. And then this side, you can basically pinch and then pull the switch up. So I'm going to do that. Kind of like wrap it around. Oh man. Yikes. Am I like doing this wrong? Maybe it's got to be like this. Wow. Yeah, you really got to give it some force. But yeah, it seems like you have to do it vertically, not horizontally. So note to self. But yeah, it kind of comes right off when you pull it. Nice. Okay. So now we got to do that 9 more times. Okay, that's 2 down. Almost there. Halfway done. Man, that one's kind of tough to get wrapped around there. There we go. Okie dokie. So we have all the switches off. Look at this thing. Dude, this thing looks dope. Just imagine M8 that you could operate with your mind. You didn't even need switches. You just like, I don't know. This thing looks interesting without the switches. Okay. So something that I wish I had done is like remembered how these were oriented. But I guess it's pretty easy because you can see on the back. Oh man, my camera's like not focusing on it well. But you can see there's these metal pins that kind of go in, and there's 2. There's this one and this one. And those are basically these 2. So that's the orientation that you have to have it at, where those corner ones will be going in there. So taking a look here, flip it over on the back. You can see there's the corner ones, 1, 2. And those need to be on the top right. Gotta make sure I don't screw this up. Oh shit. Dang, I just realized there's like when I pulled out one of the keycaps, the like thing that was in it got stuck. Ugh. Gross, dude. One of these little punks. So yeah, it's like kind of hard to see, but yeah, right there, that should be an open space, but there's like something gunked in there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it out with my fingernails. Might have to get some tweezers. Ooh. Yeah, let me grab some tweezers. BRB. Alright, we back. So I have these tweezers, but they're kind of like effed up. I don't know if they'll work. And then I also grabbed some like nail clippers. I don't know, I might be able to like get the thing, like grip onto it and pull it out. Who knows though. I'm actually gonna put the buttons on, I really am, Matt. I just gotta get this freaking thing out. This thing. Oh man. About to like scratch the hell out of this under chassis. Dude, these tweezers suck. Yeah, this is the risky run when you switch out the switches. You might make a mistake like I did. I don't think that's gonna work. I'm not even sure if these nail clippers will actually grab it. They are not grabbing it. So that is going to be a problem. What should I do here? Yeah, this thing is like stuck in there. I think I just need a better set of tweezers and I'll be able to fish it out. Oh man. Yeah, let me see if I can show it to you from the side. Yeah, this camera's not going to focus on it. But yeah, basically it's this thing. There's just something that's like stuck in there. Ugh. Which is probably my terrible force that I applied when I pulled the thing out. But I can load up all the other switches, I guess. I probably won't do this one, but I'll definitely put in the rest of them. Oh yeah. That's actually a really good idea, Matt Jacob, is that I might be able to get it from the other side. Oh. Dude, you're a freaking genius. I don't know what I would have done without you. Yeah, that's definitely the pro move here. Is to just unseat it and then pop it out. Bloody brilliant, Matt Jacob. Big shout out, dude. Oh my god. Dude, this thing is like freaking like making me nervous doing this. Okay. I want to be very careful here. Oof. Just gotta be careful, that's all. This thing is pretty well built though. Yeah, I can definitely see it. It's like hard to focus on, but yeah, it's like right here. Mother muchacho. Aha. Yeah. This is the little bugger. Right here. Son of a gun. Get it out of here. Yeah, paperclip would have been the pro move, but me being the caveman that I am, did not use it. Wow. Well, we're out of... Whoa. Uh-oh. What the hell is this thing? It's like on today's episode of J Immaculate totally ruins his M8 Model 2. This is like the battery LED icon thingy. So I think it just goes right here. Okay. And I can just put it back down. Dude, hell yeah. So yeah, slots in. Yeah, seriously. Oh man, I'm like, why did I think it was a good idea to do this on stream? But yeah, it's all back together. So now I just need to put the switches in. And I need to like wipe the sweat off my everything, basically. But yeah, big credit to Dirtywave for making such a solid device that's easy to disassemble, because there's really not too much going on here. Okay, ready to get back. Oh, B Jammin', dude, what's up, man? Yeah, let me check up on the chat here. I was focusing on Matt Jacobs' expert triaging, and I did not see anyone else going on here. Dude, B Jammin's got the same cassette tape. Yeah, this thing's dope, man. It's a nice little Sony clear voice. But yeah, let's keep on rocking here. Yeah, what's cracking, man? It's all good over here. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Now we can put the switches in. So yeah, like I was saying, you want to make sure that orientation is correct. So these top pins in the top right corner, when you're looking at it from the top. And then it should be as easy as just pushing it in. You kind of like line it up in a way where it sort of hooks on. And then you just want to push down on it. Okay. And then you do the same with the rest of them. You just kind of set it on there. So you can kind of feel it's on there. And then you just push down. And it sort of just gums in there. Yeah, and you want to make sure you're applying force evenly, because if you do it to just one of the corners, you might bend the pins. So line it up, make sure it's on, and then push down. And then you can kind of push it again after just to make sure it's on. So these ones are also the silent switches. So these ones are quiet, but they just have more resistance. Because that was my issue with these ones, which are also silent, is that they kind of like, they don't have resistance at all. They like very much just kind of go in. And then these ones have a little bit more resistance. So these are the 50 gram linear switches, bokeh. And what that is, I think the ones I was using before, let me see if I still have the bag for them actually. Yeah, so the ones that I had originally installed on it were these nocturnal ones, 20G linear. And these ones, I think the G is like the amount of resistance, like grams or something. I have no idea. But yeah, these ones are like very mushy. Like they just kind of go in super easily. You even tap it. So it doesn't give you that kind of tactile sense, but they're quiet. So that's kind of the trade-off. Whereas with these ones, these also don't give you the tactile sense, but there's more resistance in them. So it's like a little bit more, it kind of feels like you're actually pressing the button. Whereas with these, I could like accidentally press it just by like kind of hovering my finger over it and like applying a little bit of weight. So these ones are not clicky. These ones are not clicky. They're quiet, but they're like quiet with a little bit of force, basically. All right, so let's do B-side here. And keep on rocking. Nice. Yeah, the clicky ones are, they're not bad, but they can drive people near you crazy, hearing all those clicks. Not like I'm worried about what other people are hearing, but I have grown very used to using these like kind of quieter ones. Nice. Okay, cool. So these are all on here. I feel like it's a bad idea to turn it on when it's in this state. So I'll put the front chassis on, or front panel, I mean. All right, well, I don't have to screw it in. Let me just turn it on and do a quick button check. Okay. Left and right work. Up and down work. Shift works. Play works. And then edit works. Nice. Yay, all the buttons work. I didn't totally screw it up. But yeah, and it feels much nicer too. For what it's worth. It's like there's a lot more resistance, so it kind of like I have to like kind of press it for it to work as opposed to these other ones. So yeah, I would recommend not getting the 20G ones, the Nocturnal, even though goddamn I love that color. Doesn't it look sick? It's just like black and like kind of translucent smoky color. It's pretty dope looking as opposed to these things which are like kind of I don't even know how to describe it. They're like, let's do light blue with orange. It's like, who approved that? But yeah, so we're chilling with this. I'm gonna turn this boy off and then screw us back on. Hopefully that part's not too complicated. And then, yeah, Matt Jacobs asking if I'm still going capless. I don't know, man. I might put some caps on this because of how kind of like obnoxious this color combination is. We'll see. I'm gonna start capless and then I might do caps if I get sick of looking at that orange, basically. Nice. Okay, so just gonna screw these in and then we will be back in business shortly. Yeah, dude, people always give me crap for not having the caps on. I'm living the no cap lifestyle. And that's no cap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gotta like apply some pressure here. And then yeah, I want to do all four corners. Dude, BJamin's gonna go capless as well. Dude, let's get capless on the map, dude. Caps off to that, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's true. Matt Jacobs has a good point. It's whatever you have a preference. You do you. Whatever inspires you to be creative. And maybe the caps just get in the way. That's my argument. I don't need them slowing me down. I got a lot of buttons that I gotta press. But yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Okay, I got these 4 screws on. So now I'm gonna tighten them. Opposite. But yeah, overall, Model 2, not that hard to take apart. Quite easy and quite well put together, I will say. Yeah, nothing too major going on here. I'm sure if I opened up my old MPC or something, it'd be like all crazy ribbon cables and all kinds of madness. But this thing is a solid little device. Nice. Okay. Dope. Wow, okay. Scratching this thing. Alrighty. It's back in one piece. Thank goodness. Oh man, yeah, I'm looking at the front of it and I'm like, God, that's so ugly. These freaking orange... I think I might have to put the damn keycaps on, to be honest with you. Because yeah, this thing is just like, it looks obnoxious to me. Oh, brother. Okay, but it feels much nicer. I will say that much. because it's like nice little resistance there. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, bro. This is great. I'm so into this, dude. I'm recommending the 50Gs, dude. The Bokeh 50G linears. It's a nice balance of quietness, because yeah, you can't even hear it. Or maybe when I really mash it, you can hear it. Oh, whoops, it's playing. But yeah, with the ones that it comes with, it's like very much clicky. So, but again, whatever you want to do, if you want it to be clicky, that's your business. It's all good. No judgment here. But yeah, let me just check out the chat here. Be jamming. The Doom M8, dude. George Jetson model, futuristic, bro. Yeah, man. I want mine. I want RGB switches that light up in my face when I'm pressing buttons. That would be sick. But yeah, overall, not too bad to take apart. That was pretty cool. It's a good experience. But the real question is, what's next? I kind of like forgot what I was gonna do after this. Yeah, I mean, I've been going for 2 hours, so it's probably a good point to call it. Let's see. I do have these keycaps. Maybe I'll try putting these on. I'll do the cap lifestyle. Back, open up. See how that looks right on top there. I don't know, man. It's a tough call. I've been doing the capless for so long. It's just like feels weird to me. But yeah, these colors are so ugly. Maybe I should have painted them before I put it on. Like spray painted it black. It seems like such a janky solution. Yeah, oh well. All right, well, I think this is probably a good point to call it. So yeah, here, let me stop this. Boom. But yeah, I just want to say appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Big shout out to Matt Jacob for saving the day with that trick of like using the other side of it to kind of poke the thing through, because I would not have thought of that. Probably just would have cried after I ended the stream to go buy some tweezers. But yeah, appreciate everyone sticking around. I got a video coming out tomorrow too on M8, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be about resampling. It'll be a short one, so probably stuff you're all familiar with, but if you're interested, check it out. But yeah, that's it for this one. So until next time, I'm just going to say have a good rest of your weekend, and peace.